What's up, everyone? This is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and again, I did another 1,000 brackets. I guess technically 4,000 if you want to count men, women, men's second chance, women's second chance. So I did quite a lot of work, and let's see if I did better than last year. So last year I had this entire algorithm based off of trying to guarantee each quadrant and kind of because you can there's 256 combinations of round one of one quadrant for March Madness, and so I try to optimize that. I think I realized that that means that I choose every upset a minimum of an eighth of the time when I do over 1,000, like 1,025, I believe. And so I went less upset heavy, and I think I was able to do better. This is my personal one. Like my very first one I did, I filled out, with the intention of this being my main bracket. And as we see, I did very good in this top left, which there was virtually no upsets. I did all right in this one. We see a couple mistakes over here. Texas kind of screwed me a little bit, but generally fine. And bottom right, not terrible. There's a few. I was a Miami, Ohio believer. Didn't quite work out. Was still good overall, but my South was pretty abysmal. Not getting. I had three wrong, and then these three wrong as well, plus a few round ones. So pretty difficult. My Tar Heels let me down a little bit, but yeah. And then I had pretty wrong Final Four, and just did not end well. But I still got decent. I think there was 26 million, so I was in the top quarter, not too bad. In terms of the overall brackets, I had an additional account that I had, so I made 1,050 for each one, which means I made 4,200 brackets. And so I think that the main challenge people like is the men's full bracket. So I tried that. My highest overall got 1,620. That's not bad. 99 percentile, pretty good. And but the best was 1810, which the max is 320 times 6. There's 6 different rounds. It adds up to that each time. So they were only 110 points from the max. And I was 1620, so I was 300 points from the max. So almost an entire round of being wrong, and I had 1,050 chances. So clearly something is not going the way I want it to. Obviously, it's going to be very challenging to just optimize, but I need to hit the drawing board. For women's, I did do better. I forget which one I specifically chose. I'm pretty sure I thought South Carolina would win. Either South Carolina or UConn, I don't remember. But either way, UCLA won. I did better overall, 1750. The max was 1870, so only 50 off from all of them. That's very close. And so I did better. For men's second chance, I did not have a winner quite. I think it was 1280. I got 1200, which these rounds count for more. So only missed a little bit in the round one of Sweet 16. And then I did have 3 perfect brackets for the. I was able to get 3 perfect brackets for the women's second chance. Now there was enough perfect brackets. It's only like a 1 in 32,000 chance. So if people do it, especially for women's, because there's fewer upsets for women's generally, there's going to be upsets. And instead of typing the tiebreaker score for every single one, trying to hopefully get it, I kind of just randomized it to see how I would do. And I did tweet these out on the Couch and Keyboard Twitter. But yeah, and so I was able to do better in most of these. So for men's, I was able to last until the 11th game for last year, the 15th game for this year. Women's, I actually tied myself. I did 27th game. So almost the entire first round, because there's 32 games the first round. And then I got 27th game again. For men's second chance, I did have a winner last year. And this time I made it to the final four. And last time I made it like to the second final four is when I got out. Like pretty much just a championship game remaining. And this time I got 3 winners. So 2 better, 1 worse, and 1 tie. Overall, pretty good. The system that I used was a little bit more randomized. It was less organized because I realized my organization was just making it take longer. I remember sometimes like seeing different things where people, if they're trying to like get a full picture of something and they build it up and do all these things, it can take a while. I remember like watching Survivor. Someone organized everything, and by the time they were ready to unorganize, they had already lost. So I think that was like, I don't want to waste time setting a structure if I know that I can just do it quickly. And the likelihood of me having a repeated bracket is very low. Just because there are billions of combinations for the first one, original, and there's 32,000 combinations for second chance, so it's unlikely that I'm going to have very many repeats. So I just kind of plugged and chugged. I was able to do it pretty quickly. Again, I made 1,050 for each one, and that was a pretty good system. I do think, looking at the bracket itself, I still chose too many upsets overall. I was able to do it pretty, chalk is what it's called when you just select the higher seeds. Which, by the way, never do a fully chalk one because that is just asking to lose to plenty of people that already did it. So I never do a fully chalk one. You can switch around the one seeds a little bit. But I was picking less upsets, and it still was too much. Because we look at the upsets, again, only a 9 over here, which 9 seeds beat the 8 seeds every single game. But that's not really substantial. That's like a coin flip pretty much. The 7 seeds won most of the time. That's a little bit better than the coin flip. It's close though. Only 1 10-seed advanced. In terms of upsets for 11s, there were 2 11s that won and 2 6s that won. For 12s, High Point was a big deal. Shout outs. Pretty close to where I grew up. That was the only one for 12. And then for 13, 14, 15, 16, none. Again, just like last year. I think there was 2 12 seeds that got an upset. I think McNeese was one of them. But that was it. And there was no 13 through 16, which a few years ago, 2 losing to 15, even 16 over 1 happened a couple times, 14 over 3, 13 over 4. Like, it would happen pretty frequently. But it just seems like some of these larger schools are just getting more consistent. And again, it's not the most data. We only have 4 games for each a year. So it's not like you get a ton. But overall, I would say that it's fewer upsets. In the going to the Sweet 16, we did have a 6 seed. We did have this crazy upset, Iowa over Florida. I think Florida was a commonly chosen champion, and that was pretty nuts. But besides that, there wasn't a ton. Like, Texas getting to the Elite Eight was a pretty big deal. BYU has a really good player, and Gonzaga is a classic, one of the big mid-majors pretty much. But Texas has a lot of money, and I think they've been able to make an NIL work out for them and get a good roster, and they made the Sweet 16. In terms of Elite Eight, we have 1-2, 1-2, 1-6, and 9-3. So 5 out of the 8 were supposed to happen. 1 was a 3 seed. 2 and 3 is a coin flip, pretty much. And then 6 and 9 were the surprising ones. And then we have Final 4, 1, 1, 2, 3. That's not that crazy. 3 seeds usually are surprisingly not that good in terms of doing well, but them making a Final 4 is not unheard of. They are in theoretically the top 12 schools. I know sometimes like St. John's, I think people thought was kind of screwed over in terms of their seeding and whatnot. But overall, nothing too crazy to end. I was really hoping for Arizona. Not really because I had a horse in the race. I guess UNC, but they didn't do too hot. I thought it was Arizona's year potentially. Michigan clutched it out. Good for them. But yeah. So I think overall, I was trying to go pretty random, and I still think I went too random because I think selecting an upset, an extreme upset, like let's say Furman beats UConn, only 11-point game, but that is such a rare occurrence that the chance of you getting that right is just so like unlikely. Like for women's, I want to check the upsets for this one. I think that there was barely any. Like I was looking at it and there was so few. Yeah, 9 seeds should be fine. Literally no upsets round one here. And even the full way through, it was only 3/2. That's it. So this one had like almost nothing. 1-8, 5-4, 6-3, 2-7. Virginia was a big deal. That's about it. UVA was able to make it to Sweet 16, making 2 upsets. But that's it. Yeah, TCU kind of got the benefit there of playing an easier matchup, and every 1 seed made it. So there were so few. Like, yeah, Notre Dame did pretty good. That was another one that was a big deal. But, like, there's so few upsets in women's. And so I think that, like, for women's, I just need to predict less upsets. I mean, I've been, and not to say that women's is, worse and, like, they deserve fewer teams. I don't think that at all. I think having opportunity is awesome. But just in general, less women's programs have that, ability to succeed, have that funding. And so there's going to be fewer upsets. Probably less women looking to play college basketball in general as well, just because the WNBA is smaller than the NBA in terms of players and prestige. So just naturally that kind of funnel is not as developed. So, yeah, I think that for women's, I need to choose, the biggest one was, we had 10. Is that the biggest one? I'm pretty sure 10, yeah. 10 was the only double-digit seed. There was a couple 9s. Again, 8 and 9 is a coin flip. But next time, maybe I should just do no 11 through 16 upsets. Maybe a few here and there. But just to maximize my chances, I need to make sure that I'm 13 through 16 for men and 11 through 16 for women's are almost always going to lose in this modern evidence of what we've seen in round 1. Round 2, sometimes we have some 6s that do good. We've had a couple double-digit seeds that have made it pretty far. Texas for men, UVA for women. Notre Dame had a pretty good run to Elite 8. But we see 1 seeds for women's usually make it. I think this was the same exact 4 as last year. I'm pretty sure. And for men, there's a little bit more opening, but I mean, you're not going to see a 7 seed or a St. Peter's or something making the Elite 8 or Final 4. Like that's seemingly not going to happen. Now, it could always happen. There's always a chance, but it just doesn't seem very likely. So my plan next year is going to select fewer upsets to maximize the potential. Sometimes I get a little funky with it. I was having this idea of maybe trying to get the worst bracket possible. I saw someone got 50 points or something. And I think it'd be funny because technically it's easier. You just do the opposite, and then once you get it wrong, it's only for round 1, which is half the games. So if it's 13 quintillion, it's 7 or 6.5 quintillion. It's still really challenging, but it's just a little bit more challenging. Obviously, it doesn't quite come with the, all the glory and whatnot, but I think that could be something fun to do. But I want to see if I can get closer to getting a correct bracket. I want to see for women's if I can get a perfect round of 32. I want to see if I can get to the round of 32. Because I was able to get 27. I want to see if I can get to round 32. For men's, I want to see if I can at least get to day 2. Because I was able to go from 11 to 15, which is pretty close. But that's my goal. I want to get to day 2. I want to get to, for men, day 3 for women's. So I will hopefully be able to continue my pace. I was able to do it much faster this time. And yeah, I think it's fun. I enjoy brackets a lot. And I'm very curious. I might try and do a little bit more scouting. I did it kind of casually. I wasn't able to do a ton of predictions. And so I think I need to try and be a little bit more aware. Try because if you do a coin flip every time, like in round one, let's see, it's what 2 times 32. Round one alone, or no, 2 to the power of 32. Let's see. Oh my goodness. 2 to the power of 32 is still 4 billion. Maybe that was it. I guess it being larger means that it would still be very challenging. And like in continually to stack up. But so 4 billion is the amount of possibility there. But when you consider the upsets that have not really been happening as much, you can have potentially like maybe half of them you cut out, and so that's 16 coin flips. 2 to the power of 16 is only 65,000. So I might try and up the number a little bit, but I think I can continually get closer and trying to get at least, try and get to day 2 for men's, day 3 for women's. So that's my goal, and join me on my journey. I might do a few other brackets. I have all these. I have like 42 accounts now, so I might as well try something else. I know they had a bracket challenge for men's. I might do some from NBA and NHL coming up. But yeah, fun.